In early 2025, a quiet ripple moved across intelligence agencies, financial institutions, and geopolitical analysts worldwide. The cause was a single source, a discrete satellite image captured over Saudi Arabia's northwest frontier. In the vast outline of the $2 trillion NEOM megacity, a new shape had appeared. Monumental, geometric, unmistakably deliberate. A royal compound of extraordinary magnitude, emerging from the desert. 10 helipads aligned like compass points. A private marina carved into the Red Sea coastline. Gardens sculpted with mathematical precision. And at its center, a fortress-like residence, estimated to exceed $1.2 billion in construction value. No announcement, no public documentation, no disclosure of purpose or ownership. And yet, it was clearly built for someone at the highest echelon of global power. What rises behind these walls is more than a palace. It is a physical declaration of 21st century monarchy, financed through sovereign capital, shielded behind offshore structures, and embedded in one of the world's most opaque dynastic systems. Few understand what it signals. Even fewer grasp the implications for global markets, energy stability, and the future architecture of power. At the center of this expanding royal constellation lies a private compound inside NEOM, the kingdom's most ambitious development project, envisioned as a futuristic metropolis across 26,000 square kilometers. But this residence is unlike anything else in the region. Along the Red Sea coastline, the palace stands as the crown jewel of NEOM's private enclaves. 10 fully operational helipads circle its perimeter. High-walled gardens protect the main residence, built in an opulent Moroccan-inspired architectural style. A private marina sits just beyond the sea wall, designed to receive both personal vessels and diplomatic arrivals. And from the sky, thermal scans reveal the contours of a 9-hole golf course. The estimated build cost between $1 and $1.5 billion. Yet this structure is only one chapter in a larger story. Across continents, the Saudi royal portfolio contains other remarkable properties, each more exclusive, more protected, and more symbolic than the last. Just outside Paris, in Louveciennes, stands Chateau Louis XIV, a 57-acre Versailles-inspired estate with gold leaf fountains, a private cinema, an underwater meditation chamber, and a wine cellar for 3,000 bottles. Sold for nearly $300 million, the chateau was later traced through a network of Luxembourg holding companies back to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. On the water, the Crown Prince commands Serene, a 439-foot superyacht acquired for $500 million. On board, an open-deck spa, 2 helipads, a submarine, and a fully climate-controlled snow room, a literal escape from desert heat. And in Morocco, another residence defines the family's seasonal life. The Tangier Retreat, 74 acres of private courts, oceanfront pavilions, and staff compounds valued at more than $100 million. These are not simply residences. They are strategic sanctuaries, designed for insulation, built for influence, and positioned to host the world's most powerful individuals without scrutiny. Each protected by layers of discretion, each mapped across continents. Together, they form a blueprint of monarchy in the modern world. Beneath every palace in this network lies an architecture not of stone, but of finance. At its center stands 8 Investment Company, headquartered in Riyadh and overseen by close advisors to the Crown Prince. Though private on paper, its funding sources align with state capital, and its leadership is drawn from the kingdom's most trusted inner circle. Through this company, assets flow into a latticework of offshore entities. Prestige State SARL in Luxembourg, The firm behind the acquisition of Chateau Louis XIV sits atop a chain of French holding companies and trusts built to obscure beneficial ownership. This is not an anomaly. It is the operating model. Other holdings are registered in the British Virgin Islands, some in Cayman Island trusts, others in Guernsey structures, a number of which have recently surfaced in the United Kingdom's Overseas Entities Register. A Guernsey trust controls The Home, a Regent's Park mansion valued at £185 million, linked to Prince Abdullah bin Khalid Al Saud. A British Virgin Islands corporation controls 18 London properties, owned by Prince Turki Al Saud, the Crown Prince's brother. Above all of these sites, the Public Investment Fund, the PIF, a sovereign asset pool approaching $925 billion. Chaired by Mohammed bin Salman, the PIF holds strategic stakes in Uber, Lucid Motors, SoftBank, Blackstone, Boeing, and global entertainment and infrastructure giants. Layer by layer, wealth is obscured. Sovereign capital flows into private structures. Private structures flow into offshore trusts. And through them, property becomes more than real estate. It becomes insulation, leverage, and continuity. Not shelter, but strategy. Mohammed bin Salman's rise was not traditional. It was engineered. In 2015, Salman bin Abdulaziz became king. By 2017, his son Mohammed replaced a cousin as crown prince, a pivotal shift in the line of succession. What followed was a transformation unlike anything the kingdom had seen. More than 300 royals, ministers, and billionaire businessmen were summoned to the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh. Officially, the event was an anti-corruption initiative. Privately, it resulted in the transfer of stakes in banks, prime real estate, precious metals, and art. More than $100 billion in assets changed hands, and rival power centers were dismantled. With his position secured, the Crown Prince restructured the nation's economic foundation. Vision 2030 reoriented national priorities. NEOM became the symbol of Saudi Arabia's future. The Aramco IPO reshaped capital markets. Global investment partnerships multiplied. This was not simply the rise of a monarch, but the construction of a dynastic CEO, commanding capital, policy, and succession in tandem. Mohammed bin Salman's private world is engineered for inaccessibility. His public appearances are carefully curated. Press access remains tightly controlled. Itineraries are rarely published. Inside this sphere, only fragments emerge. Among them, the acquisition of Salvator Mundi, the $450 million Da Vinci painting believed to be housed aboard Serene. His aviation fleet, absent from public FAA registries, is tracked only through rotating Gulfstream call signs, HZHM66, HZHMS2, and others. Yet these assets are not indulgences. They are diplomatic tools, platforms for negotiation, venues for elite meetings, and instruments through which legacy is shaped. Privacy here is not accidental. It is policy. And every movement, every object of ownership, supports a system calibrated for control. Behind the gilded interiors lies a deeper structure, one of influence that extends far beyond the Gulf. Saudi Arabia remains the anchor of OPEC. Its oil production moves global inflation forecasts and energy markets. But under the Crown Prince, the country's strategic posture has shifted. Defense ties with the United States have been recalibrated. Chinese investment is actively cultivated. Russian energy dialogue remains open despite geopolitical tensions. Through the PIF, Saudi Arabia has become a capital superpower. Its investments include $3.5 billion in Uber, $45 billion in the SoftBank Vision Fund, stakes in Blackstone, Boeing, Activision, and a rapidly growing footprint in global sport, from Newcastle United to LIV Golf. Inside the kingdom, the financial balance is evolving. Royal family members liquidate overseas assets. Historic stipends are reduced. Influence, once inherited, becomes transactional. A new equation emerges: absolute control within, strategic capital projection beyond. And as oil, technology, and diplomacy converge, the implications extend well past the region. They are global, they are structural, they are enduring. The fortress is real, but it is not defined by marble or gold. It is built on networks, on influence, on silence. As one man's private empire rises along the desert coast, a new architecture of monarchy emerges, driven not by tradition, but by calculation. It is more than a residence. It is a financial signal, a diplomatic instrument, a long-term position on the global chessboard. And what lies within its walls offers a glimpse into the evolving face of sovereign wealth in the decades ahead.